finals if they do make it through. We are just about ready for our champion draft as well. Gonna be more of the same, something a little bit different. Does Ruckus have the same, priority on this map with the lack of verticality?
I don't know if it was a priority. I really think that draft was just orchestrated by Blight, if that makes sense, meaning that they wanted to let certain high priority things go through to Ghost 5 because at least they thought they had a plan to deal with it. We're already seeing a change up in the bans here now. Bomb King taken away first. I'm expecting Fernando Makoa. Actually, no, I'm not expecting that, because if Ghost 5 have a first pick, then they're just going to get their priority, their pick of the litter. Now they can only choose from one, as Torvald has been taken out, as well as this dissuades maybe that Buck pick just a little.
Potentially, there's less combo there, although Buck has demonstrated themselves to be still relatively strong, but they're going for the Grok, they're going for the Lightning Orc. Show me some smokes in chat, please. They are out on the field to play for Ghost 5.
And now Blight, they've got their opportunity to pick up the Fernando Makoa, but Ghost 5, I expect them to be aware of this as well. They've clearly got a plan, need a plan. Maybe it's the Talus again, bringing some of that anti-heal.
You bring war to my doorstep.
It's going to be the Genos.
I bring destruction to yours.
And the Makoa, and so far going for aggro tank, really continuing to prioritize on the Genos, so might be seeing another double support composition come through. But into a Grok, that could be very dangerous if Ying provides shock pulse bounce targets with her illusions.
Yeah. It's a good thought, and I mean, one thing I'm also worried about with this reliance on Makoa and Genos as well, if we end up seeing not the Maelstrom, but the Totemic Ward bringing the CC immunity, no more Void Grip, no more Dredge Anchor, that could really diffuse, and I've heard that it's pretty popular style on the console, just the big CC immunity totem.
Oh yeah, I think that was
down.
definitely something we saw in the console wars qualifiers a lot for DreamHack Valencia.
Go
It's
ahead.
a lot
Keep
of,
talking
I
while
think
you
it's
can.
outreach, increasing the radius of the totem for Grok. And you can place that around a lot of walls in Frog Isle
just
and a lot of
can't
cover,
stay
and its
away from
radius
me.
actually extends into some of the fight zones as well, which is very useful. Ruckus and Fernando then to Ghost 5. Very strong frontline, very strong core. Lacking in damage here, specifically dedicated damage or flank pressure.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll see anything like a Drogos on Frog Isle. We've seen guys make it work against hit scan pressure. Tracking is something that is, I will say, easier to do on console than it is on PC. With characters like Grok and Ruckus able to take him out of the sky. I mean, we've seen maybe Evil Eye pulls it off on PC under a lot of hit scan pressure. He just kind of prairie dogs on Frog Isle, but it's not something that I've seen and highly prioritized
The next
yet
time
on
you
console.
see my banners,
So Leon comes
run.
through for Blight. This will be interesting. This is sort of setting the style that Blight want to play. They don't want to go for too much close quarters. They want to go for more ranged engagements. And stripping Leon away from Ghost 5, then picking Drogos sets up this kind of
Let's go.
peek and poke style.
I'm excited for it, man. Drogos is something I haven't seen a lot of on console, but I know it's something that can be really deadly, especially if it's going to be Grok, right? If they're going to be stacking around this totem, Drogos just punishes that.
There's
man.
a lot of kill potential from especially the fire spit salvo combo, I feel,
Yeah.
because if you're, how do you react fast enough to move away from that? If you want to turn 180 and dash away, that takes like, a little bit of time to be able to process the input of that and then to be able to get away. If you want to dash immediately, you might be running in towards your enemy team and there's a Makoa waiting for you. So it's a good funnel here so far. Ghost 5 though, they're sticking with the Talus from last game. I like this, it worked out for them. Maybe more difficult to traverse on the Frog Isle, but as well a Maldumba here, so going with double support.
That's something I think we'll see a lot of here, both on PC and apparently console as well. It's
I
going to
can
be
get
an
us out
Ash
of here
locked
alive.
in for the
Stay
second
close and
front
follow
line.
my
We've gone
lead.
pretty deep into the pool here. Torvald being banned out, Ruckus Commando on one side, Makoa Ash on the other.
Okay, I'm interested to see the Ash come out again, a little bit of a throwback to yesterday's
I mean,
set.
with one support and it's Genos, you can't really go into a Nara and have her do what she does effectively, which is
Well,
sponge.
I wouldn't want to go into a Nara anyway. Versus a Grok, are you kidding me? You're just asking yourself for shock pulse bounces at that point. And that's way too dangerous.
Yeah.
You place your Waters
Good
field
point.
down, and you are like a pinball machine in there. Grok is stacking up the high score damage numbers. You don't want to put yourself into that situation. So Ash, they're safer, they have Siege Shield, so they are able to at least provide a barrier and a barricade in the way of those shock pulses, break up some of the damage, and I do also like the fact that Assert Dominance with the lack of crowd control, specifically with the exception of Dread Serpent on Ghost 5, will mean that Ashe cannot be displaced, and if Immortal is procced, can at least contest an objective whilst Fernando makes their team invulnerable.
What I'm really thinking about right now, Vox, is what legendary is Leon going to go for? Is this going to be Alacrity? Because if you're looking at this composition from Blight, they seem like they're ready to punish a stack from Ghost 5. They seem like they're ready for this Grok Totem, maybe even the Totemic Ward to come out and deal with it.
Alacrity's a little interesting. You know, Alacrity does target
Everyone.
It's funny that I can't say the word intelligent, isn't it? Of all words to not be able to say. It doesn't punish intelligent deployables. It will not target a Grok Totem when you use your Grace Dash, even though it should. It targets sort of all AI controlled deployables in front of you. So it will get Ying Illusions, it will get Barrack Turrets, it won't deal with the Totem. What I'm thinking might actually work out quite well is maybe an Eminence pickup here, because if there's a lot of players stacked
Well,
in one
I'm not even
location,
talking about the Totem. I'm
pop it
talking
all the
about
way
just
through.
hitting everyone.
Exactly.
Applying COTS, and then as well,
Could be very useful.
the style is you're going to run that Swift Jade loadout card as well. Everyone that you hit with your Valor reduces the cooldown of your Alacrity. If you've got a ton of people on screen, you're going to be pumping out, 1,200 damage
Oh, you
in
can
less than
machine
a
gun
second.
really well. And
Yeah.
if you combo that especially, it's a personal favorite of mine as well.
It's
Played
fun, dude.
A bomb game of this on Stone Keep. You can check that out on YouTube, I'm sure. But
Wow, the plug.
You run the morale boost along with Alacrity Leon.
Hey, I'm with you.
You do Grace Shock or Valor Grace, and you just stack up so much damage. You can charge your like a good 15% in one combo, and then you are just fragging. You are always ready for the flanks. Could be very, very useful backline peel if Talus comes knocking, because I don't feel like the Leon is going to have the best of matches versus a Talus on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, you look at it and you talk about a lot of Leon's 1v1s, and it just comes down to the ultimate.
Do I have my ult?
Does she have it? Then yes, she wins. You have to back off.
Press
But
the panic button.
at the same time, Talus is the perfect character to bait that out. The second it comes, he's just going to say later, and he's going to zoink back to where his Rune of Travel's placed.
It's going to be a bit of a mind gaming going there. I think it really comes down to the fact that you want to bait out this ultimate. The Leon's going to want to keep enlightenment in the tank. You don't want to be using it. Could actually be used to really kind of set up and disrupt a stack as well. Especially if players are all on top of that Grok Totem. 1,600 damage all the way through multiple will certainly open up a fight, but it's a really good get out of jail free button, and I want to see good trigger discipline here.
Yeah, I think that's going to be very important. Always finding a kill with it, it doesn't matter. You get 50% of the ultimate charge back on Leon if you strike a killing blow with it.
You know, and the team's last game on Serpent Beach, there's a bit of a kind of like a lackadaisical attitude with the ultimate usage. I felt a lot of, we're just going to throw
a lot of it at the
wall.
same time too. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the ult economy and the ult management isn't refined, shall we say, to the same degree that we have at other times noticed it, especially when we draw comparisons to, say, Virtus Pro and their kind of, we're just not going to use the ults experience of the PPL4 finals. I think a little bit more control on the tanks could very much benefit one of these two teams if they're willing to let themselves not be baited in with over-aggression from one team and keep the resources to themselves for maybe a retake later down the line.
Absolutely. A lot of cool things going on here in the Expo Hall, folks. Paladins Strike, Little Paladins Battlegrounds. I see some new people playing Cerberus, the new Smite character, new to the Battlegrounds of the Gods. But these guys right here. Wow, that is quite the thumbstick. My God.
That is
Maybe that's a
bright
secret.
thumbstick.
Maybe that's what I needed.
Shiny?
That's why I suck, dude. I don't have that thing.
It's all about the customization, you know. It's like we talk about Paladins, and we're like, you can make your character look however you want. You can run like a Shatter-style weapon for Janos. You can run the Eclipse skin as well. You can run the accessory piece. Could be the same thing with the controller.
Is that like a custom? It's like a thumbprint controller or something. Like you have to like only your thumb.
That would be cool.
Can play on this.
I would love that because I hate sharing controls with people. When you get it back from you and just like it's covered in pizza grease or something, you're
It's
like,
sweaty.
I like what do I even do here? I need a thumbprint unlock my controller.
Yeah.
A little bit futuristic there.
A lot of these guys sponsored by Scuff, it looks like. I've got one of those myself, and I love
Goldboy
it.
mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
I've never had the opportunity.
Dude, it's the only way to, like, any controller with those paddles is the only way to play an ability-based game like Paladins, I think. You need those additional inputs.
You're going to have to make, you know what? I'm going to have to try that out at some point. I have to steal that from you whilst I'm here.
You can't judge yourself on console until you're playing with paddles. You really can't.
I got to borrow it from you and take it back to Europe.
We'll see if we can get you one of your own. How about that?
That would be lovely.
I love it, man. It's gorgeous controllers for sure. Swiper, I'm sure he's got one of his own as well.
And it's important, I think, to feel comfortable with your gear here, especially because you're in an unfamiliar environment. You're at LAN. There are a lot of bright lights in your face. There are a lot of strange people around, some of whom you know, some of whom you might like, some of whom you really might not. And,
I mean, you got to be comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Dosa plays in his socks. Jeff Hinla from Smite, he always brings this little fan, this like mini desk fan, and he puts it under his desk.
Barracuda doesn't wear shoes.
Yeah, I don't think a lot. Because it's about
LAN.
being comfortable. These guys, they're used to playing in their bedrooms,
Yeah.
fragging out there, and they want to replicate that experience probably as much as they can, because that's where they're most comfortable. That's where they're going to play their game.
Is that where Ninjas in Pajamas come from?
Is
that the history behind the brand?
I guess so.
Maybe.
And you love it for that. You know, it's a very cozy. Their logo is very unfriendly though.
Yeah.
It's very sharp.
They're ninjas.
They are ninjas.
They gotta be.
At heart.
You don't see them coming.
I mean, think about any ninja really. It's like they are kind of wearing PJs. They
This is
creep
true.
around in slippers,
I also, oh god,
kimonos.
we saw the photos coming from the boot camps of them. They are wearing the Ninjas in pajamas, and I've never been more thrilled. I do need some of that. But folks, we are back into the action. Frog Isle, map number 2 of this best of 7 semifinals for the PS4 platform. The Paladins console wars here at HRX Expo 2018 starts now.
Oh, there it is. Totemic Ward, Swiper the one, piloting Grok. That was my big
Wow,
question
and
mark.
that's Swiper off the towers as well onto the Grok, so demonstrating a lot of prowess maybe with tracking then.
Rally here, Ash as well. That's pretty interesting because she's not going to be able to get that stun, but what she is
Well,
going
we
to
know
get
that Ash charges her ult really
is the
fast.
damage
Frog Isle.
right? Especially if they're all stacked up. I don't think they're really concerned. Blight haven't picked up that tank legendary to be able to stun out. It's for the damage amp.
Damage amp composition goes across the board here. Shoot, providing a little bit of bombardment here. Maybe an overextension from Makoa. Skeppii trying to find the shots, but down on the low ground doesn't have the ease of ability to maybe land some shots at the ground. Firespit not finding anything. ProsperLogic picks up first blood, and Ghost 5 take control early this game.
He won that engagement hard. Not only did he poke somebody extremely low, find a kill, but he got out as well as baiting the fire spit on just himself. That is a big cooldown that Skeppii's going to have to find value for if he wants to get this money.
And Prosper's finding Skeppii again. The Talus is going Drogo's hunting on the objective. Maldamba stacking up some point control down. Look at this totem placement that was down there from Swiper that we mentioned before. You place it behind walls, behind corners, and it's already 93% for Ghost 5. They're going for the win here. Ash is getting melted alive, and all the support, all the healing on the objective is allowing them to contain and retain control.
This is going to be so difficult for Blight on the early game. They're not going to have any way to crowd control people away from this totem. And frankly, man, this Totemic Ward Grok, it heals for 420 at base, supplemented not only the CC immunity, but 50% additional healing per second with that legendary. So he is pumping out greater heals than a Ying ultimate would be right out of the gate.
We'll have to see maybe a little later on if they're running Healing Rain in their loadout as well, just to increase that further. If they're going for maybe some crackle action there and increasing the duration, what takes more value. But Blight, they're now putting the foot down. They're putting the flag down. They're diving in with the Dragon Punch as well, looking to ensure they stop Ghost 5 in their tracks. And with Skeppii's kill into akimbomistik, soldierbot finding stormavatar, that'll take the pressure off them for a short while.
And frankly, I'm expecting Ghost 5 to win this early. They've got the Grok Totem, they've got the Gourd from Maldamba, they have a ton of area of effect healing, as well as Skeppii just wasn't effective in that first engagement. He wasn't finding a lot of AoE damage with this Fire Spit. He is going to have to be cranking those out on cooldown and getting value each and every time if they want to win these early engagements.
That was a nice turn and burn though from soldierbot right there. Swiper will answer back, and Ghost 5 do manage to make something out of that engagement after True Power was used and wasn't transported away from with the Rune of Travel in quite enough time. Ghost 5 are now gaining ground. 1 minute and 14 seconds left on the clock. They're pushing just over halfway. And now camped very far up towards the Blight. Got to be careful they don't overextend here and all get pulled in at once. But CC Immune Totem means that Makoa can't do much.
Shut down the approach, 60 seconds on the clock. Good lane, they've pushed him very deep right now. Akimbomistik has already fallen, so this might be a call this one off from Ghost 5. We'll have to see if they want to commit to the full engage here.
They do have Hexafire ready. Dread Serpent comes out. Here's Enlightenment. Soldierbot finds igoodlad, but that was a rocket with basically no health left. And Swiper was waiting in the wings alongside ProsperLogic. Here comes the overdrive. Step into the light of Paris as Shoo finds Prosper. Tempest comes out from Swiper trying to keep the dream alive. Down goes Genos. Down goes Ash. Makoa's in with Ancient Rage, and Drogo's returns as well. This could be a good hold, but no, the Ghost Walk is keeping everybody alive, and Swiper has that totem again very soon. Neck and neck. Can Blight hold on?
SoldierBot, he's going to find the frag, and wooshx is going to fall. This is still neck and neck. It could go either way. Skeppii comes in, lands a Dragon Punch, but quickly gives up his own life for it.
Wow, Ash again with the assert dominance. Second time this round, buying valuable seconds for their team. The area has been cleared though. Blight are losing members still, and it's just Ash left on top of the objective. In dives Makola as well. Woosh trying to hold on. Downrange the fire spit salvo combo from Drogas, but the payload pushes through. And Ghost 5 go up 2-0 in 4 minutes and 40.
Is not the way I thought this was going to go. ProsperLogic had a incredible first round, doing a lot of little things right and big things right as well, finding big moments to just spray through these tanks. That's a double kill right there. He's shredding his way through Makoa as well. But look at the target prioritizations as well. He is focusing those that are contesting the objectives and the objectives only.
And now with that net worth boon, even though it's a long defense, we saw Ghost 5 pick up the initial 300 credits from the neutral capture.
Swiper's rich.
Swiper is sitting on cauterized 3 already. And
with
that,
300 in pocket. My man's
that is
rolling
a big boon right now.
He's healing people, he's getting kills, and playing the objective.
Grok does it all.
It's the Trinity, man.
He does it all, and he's blue.
And if he's green, he would die. Said it himself best. Only one ultimate available here for Talus. Blight, only one as well. The Leon, the Enlightenment, isn't enough.
Here we go, True Power kicks things off. ProsperLogic actually going to cancel that. Does retain 70% of the ultimate charge though, so should be up again very shortly. Might have baited out a cooldown or two from their opposition. Stays alive thanks to Maldamba, Gord, Mending Spirits, and Totemic Ward Totem combination there. That is a very hard to kill Talus.
Letting people escape with that low of HP, it's so detrimental. It means you've invested so much in them already. You don't have a lot left to give. And they get out for free. They disengage.
Difficult mechanically, it's difficult mentally. Ghost 5, unsurprisingly, with survivability and sustain like that, they captured the second objective of this game and are now up 3-0 in 6 minutes. The problem is, what are Blight thinking? Is like, can we not even close out a kill onto a Talus with 100 health? One shot from Leon, or even Ash at the edge of her detonation would have killed them. Can't pick it up.
Not going to be enough. Blight, they're going to come through with yet another failed offense. Ghost 5 will attempt to close this game out on Frog Isle very quickly. They can just reach the destination here with this payload. They've got 3 ultimates, almost 4. There's the 4th popping up now. Ghost 5 are ready to start the offense.
Red 7 comes through. Oh, Ancient Rage, not in enough time. Blight lose 1 member there, and they could lose more in just a second. Look at Akimbomistik's health. Oh, just going down to Leon right at the end of that engagement. And Ghost 5 wisely recognizing that they lost their front line, start to peel away and just start to poke out Blight now from a safe position.
What I'm worried about is these cauterizers just aren't having enough time to come online for Blight. They have great ways to spread this anti-heal around with the Leon, with all these ways of engagement, but I just don't know if the game's going to last long enough, Vox.
Oh, look, Woosh actually has the Ancient Rage out enough time this time, but look straight into the back line. Target prioritization is good, looking to peel, but gets turned and burned so fast right there. The hit scan tracking from Ghost 5 when it comes online is very impressive and really starting to shred through their opposition. Blight have got to hold on here. They need a defense if they want to stay in the game. How do they do it?
They've got to get these cauterizers online, and they probably will be at this stage of the game. They were pretty close to buying them early, but this healing has to stop. Here's a Dragon Punch. This has to connect onto somebody.
It didn't actually connect onto anybody, or rather it did. Out comes Immortal. Akimbomistik with a double kill. Igoodlad as well with a third, following the Hexafire there. And a beautiful wombo combo with the Tempest to keep everybody topped up means that Ghost 5 survive. Blight burned every single one of their available ultimates in that engagement, and Ghost 5 are still pushing. This could be the end of map number 2 in a 4-0 sweep if Blight can't do something, and Enlightenment is all they have left.
Frog Isle is known for its quick games. 1 falls, but 1 to respond. 16 on the clock. Is it enough? Another will fall in North America. A third will fall. They've got 2. Now 1. Now none standing left. Ghost 5 take game 2.
That was clean. That was clinical. In fact, that was so clinical, I thought we were in a hospital. And the amount of healing on board for that team, there was certainly a lot of that going on. You know, the Maldamba combination, you stack a Gord on top of that high throughput healing totem as well.
About it.
What are you doing to that?
That's that is what? Wow, that's almost 900 healing per second.
Too much.
You can't.
Too much.
You can't fight through it unless you have 90%
Unless you have Cauterize, or maybe some anti-heal, or maybe an early game anti-diluvium. But hey, look at which team picked up both Fernando and Talus, shutting down that in-card healing, unless you might want to go for the Decrepify Sky.
It just happened so quickly, it felt like. And you know, you're looking at ProsperLogic, the first round he had was immaculate. And then I felt Swiper the One's Grok was just consistent throughout that game. Great tank play, of course, all around. But ProsperLogic can't get over how clean that first engagement was. He baited out a fire spit as well, which, like we talked about, it was going to be big. The AoE pressure from Drogoz was really invested into being able to dismantle the stacking around the Grok totem.
Exactly, and it was a combustible, so you're getting the benefit of the extra damage, even though you don't get the knockback if you hit it over a CC immune totem. You're dealing an extra, 30% as it increased damage from the combustible legendary there. But ProsperLogic had not just great damage, but great jukes throughout a lot of this game. Here's the initial engagement that we were talking about, and they're able to take down Drogoz after being able to take out Makoa. That really opened the fight up for Ghost 5. And look at the positioning as well. This was their favorite spot on the map, I think.
This was it, shredding through that Makoa. Dear Lord, it just wasn't enough. And he gets out every time. How many times did we see this guy escape extremely low HP? That means they were investing. They were trying to find this kill, but they just couldn't. And he's a little guy. Look at this. He's skirting around the payload. He's making sure he's staying alive. Nobody's really paying him any time of day.
Yeah, I think it was a lot that came down to the positioning specifically from ProsperLogic that enabled their plays. Good jukes to be able to avoid a lot of Drogoz rockets, the fire spits, but also just being in the right place at the right time and knowing how to get that pincer flank engaging properly to draw opponents' fire and make sure that nobody was able to focus them down.